All right, so here's a video about how I am making 17 to 30% on my crypto holdings. So, DeFi has really broadened the horizons of what we can do with our crypto. So, there have been, in the old days, there was, you could buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin and you could speculate directionally. And, since then, more and more options have been added. Uh, so, there's been all kinds of centralized solutions like Blockfolio and Bitfinex used to have, or I guess they still do. They used to have a lending platform built into their exchange where you could lend margin funds, and Celsius is another one. So all these kinds of things were created over time, but they were all very custodial. So with the DeFi boom that we've seen really over the last 6 months, we have a more options that I think are more attractive personally. So uh, what I've done over the past month or so is to rearrange my crypto portfolio, and part of that is because like Roland Thomas has reminded me that one of the lessons he learned from me, that I was failing to follow myself, was that you have to be a whale. You have to be heavy enough in an investment that it makes a difference. So like Warren Buffett used to say, put your eggs all in one basket and then watch that basket very carefully. So uh, you know that's as opposed to the diversification approach. So, a few months ago, I had bought a bunch of different coins like SNX, Comp, the Aave lending token, which got converted. So, but these were all like small little speculations that I had. $500 here, $600 there, and even if one of them mooned, it wouldn't make any difference to me because it's not enough to make any kind of substantial impact on my overall portfolio. So I learned my own lesson from myself, I guess, with reminders from others that you got to do enough to make it worthwhile. And so I have readjusted my portfolio here um, into yielding assets basically, and I'm making like I said 17 to 30% depending on which asset you're talking about. And on this video, I just want to go through how I've gone ahead and done that. So what we're looking at here is Zerion, which is it's a tracking site. They've got a great mobile app, and you can see what's going on in my portfolio here. Um, I've got a bunch in the Wrapped Leo Ethereum Uniswap pool, and that is making fees a little bit. It's also making market gains, and you can see that this is APY.vision, and you can see that the liquidity pool gains are negligible. It's basically been even. Net market gains, we've been on a nice little upswing lately, so I'm up 30% there. But I'm not so concerned about the net market gains until we get to moon times anyway. But I am, what this doesn't include is the geyser rewards. So, I'm not sure. We're still waiting on the first payout. It'll be another 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that, before we get the first geyser payout. And, we'll see what actual returns we end up getting. But, I'm expecting, a decent 25-30% kind of annualized return on the Raplio there. So that's all well and good. Then over here on their other assets on Zerion, you can see that there's all these HBTC CRV, CCRV, BCRV. And what that is the Curve platform. So Curve is a really interesting DeFi platform where they are creating liquidity pools inside or for same type assets, which is really attractive to me. So basically, so we've got Compound, we've got USDT, we've got PAX, and these are all US dollar stable coins. So DAI versus USDC. You're creating liquidity on both sides of that, and the reason that works is because you don't have any impermanent loss, or at least under ideal conditions. So you can see I have funds here in this pool, and so I have some DAI, some USDC. I'm making a little bit of yield in terms of actual trading fees, but then the way Curve works is that they incentivize you with their own platform token. And if you take some of the platform token, lock it up for voting rights, and then you can increase your yields. So here I'm making 33.69%. On this one, I'm making 25.9. On this one, I'm making 30.49. On this one, I'm making 33.5. This one here, I'm making 18. And the reason for that is that all these other pools that I'm in are US dollar based pools. And basically, I went after the ones that were more attractive in terms of the way Curve rewards your contribution of liquidity. So basically, if you put more money into ones that are less liquid, then they give you more bonuses in terms of their yield. So, but then this one, this HBTC one, is HBTC versus WBTC. So these are both Bitcoin-based wrapped tokens. You know, HBTC is Holdway and W is the wrapped. And so there, you know, I'm using my Bitcoin balances, you know, put into these tokens, and then you know I keep my Bitcoin exposure on that asset, even though you know it's wrapped, because you know there's a market arbitrage there that keeps the price in line with Bitcoin, and you know I'm making 18.5% on that. And the reason this one is so much lower than these other ones is because the amount of locked up CRV that you would need in order to get those higher bonuses is just so much more than in these other pools. So I'm optimized for these other pools rather than this pool, and I'm okay with that. You know, making 18% on my Bitcoin balances that I would have just held anyway. You know, I'm perfectly happy with that. So you know, overall, you know, I'm doing reasonably well there. You know, I'm really just starting on with Curve, and but I'm very satisfied so far. Now, of course, it's an Ethereum-based platform. These are all ERC kind of coins, and obviously that means gas fees. And past couple of days, gas fees have been very high. So I actually have not collected my CRV rewards here, but I have 38 CRV sitting there waiting for me, and you know that's an attractive return. And you know, right now each CRV is worth like I don't know, 70 cents, something like that. Let's look at TradingView. And I'm not sending on this browser. Let's go over here. CRV, 76 cents. Okay, so you know I'm happy with that. And you know, obviously all these platforms have risk. There is risk in that, you know, what happens if Curve, you know, gets hacked, or what happens if the price of CRV just drops dramatically, or what happens if my WBTC is some security flaw is exposed there and the price of that particular asset goes down. All these things can happen. I am not particularly concerned about that, but I will be watching very closely, like Warren Buffett says. But you know, so right now my portfolio for crypto is, at least for liquid crypto, is that you know I have one BTC set off to the side. That's my forever ride or die kind of coin, like Scaredy Cat Guide says. And you know the other liquids are put into Curve, and then I have some speculative positions, like you know I have a few thousand Rune, and you know I feel like that's heavy enough to if Rune goes the way people are talking about, it's enough to be significant. So you know that doesn't violate my whale rule. But then otherwise, you know, I'm in these pools. I'm in stable assets, stable coin assets, and my Bitcoin exposure, and wrapped Leo and Ethereum. So, you know, with the wrapped Leo, you know, as part of having to hold it, you know, I'm sitting on basically 20 Ethereum, which is a nice exposure to have. I'm bullish on Ethereum as a general rule, only second to Bitcoin, and you know, by keeping these assets, you know, in this allocation, then I keep my overall exposure. I keep my yield, you know, decently high. You know, if we blended everything together, probably 25% annualized. And then, you know, I'm happy to sit back and ride the waves in crypto land. And, you know, when we see that market boom, you know, if it comes in 2021, then I'll be able to, you know, redeem all these and then sell if that ends up being the move. So Just want to take a minute to explain that, and I hope that helps. If you're looking at places to park your crypto.